One of those guys who will probably play in the second half of the game on Sunday is Justyn Ross, guy who's everyone's been talking about. It was a guy that was a big deal when we signed him last year after the draft. He was supposed to be a top 2 round pick, had the congenital spinal fusion, and he missed one whole year. Didn't think he could ever play football again. Came back, had the surgery at Clemson. His numbers weren't particularly well, but some say it could have been the injury. Some say it could have been the quarterback play at Clemson that year that his numbers took a dip. Then he had the foot surgery after the season. Chiefs ended up getting him. A lot of teams, everyone thought that team should have taken a flyer on him in the 6th or 7th round, just so it wouldn't have been an opportunity for the Chiefs to go and grab him as an undrafted guy. We did let him sit for a year, had a redshirt NFL season, and then apparently this whole offseason he's been working with Mahomes. He's been pretty much living at Mahomes' house down in Texas and in Kansas City, just working with him all the time. Yeah, apparently at Mahomes' new place in Kansas City, he's got a turf field in his backyard. And they just playing catch pretty much all summer.
It's like living a life right now, baby. He's living it. That's all right. That's all they ask you to do.
So he's been a guy that it's been interesting. You have two factions in the Chiefs Twitter world. Like some content creators didn't think he was going to sniff the roster. They said he's not making the team. But you start to see the Chiefs media, the social media team at Kansas City Chiefs, they know what the fans want. They know that Justyn Ross is a big time hit. So every time he's doing anything in practice, they're posting it on the Chiefs account. It's not only it's a feel good story if he does make the team and he actually gets playing time. He was just such amazing talent, and it was almost taken away with the condition that he had with I killed the name, but the congenital spinal fusion that he had, and now he might actually make the team and actually might get playing time, and so now you're seeing there's factions on Twitter and stuff, the content creation space. But my question to you is, JD, when you see Justyn Ross, the clips that are being shown online, and it's the hype around him. Are you confident in the young guys that we have? Obviously, he's one of the many young guys that we have who's been named. Rashee Rice has been a guy everyone's talked about as far as doing well with Mahomes. Ross has been one. Skyy Moore's looking the part now, and then even Nico Remigio out of Fresno State. A lot of guys, but what do you make of what you're hearing and what you're seeing from the Justyn Ross hype online?
I think the hype that you're hearing, I think is real. I think, he's been coming in making plays. And so that's always promising. Every time you hear, like every single day, if a report is coming out about how good he's been playing and, him making plays and particular things in practice, I mean, our eyes is going to definitely be on this guy, right? And like you said, it's not just a feel-good story, but we talked about, the things he's just been able to overcome, and you want this from him. You want him to be successful. You want him to defy all the odds that, somebody said, you're not going to be able to do it. Or the doctor's like, hey, maybe wait and see. Want to see what, how this is all going to play out. But yeah, man, we know he's a talented guy. We know that. We know he's a talented wide receiver that can play, that can catch. I've seen him run a couple of routes. Obviously it's on, on one-on-ones and so forth. So game time is definitely going to be a little bit different. But hey, man, I'm pulling for this dude to make some plays, man. I'm pulling for this guy to make the roster, and I think he can do it. I think he really can, because now he has the determination and the grit, right? He's been through that. Now you're talking about he lives on Patrick Mahomes' couch. This sucker's there and catching balls with him every time Pat has a chance. Shoot, yo, man. Hey, that's all you need to build is rapport. You get a relationship with PM15 throwing a ball to you. Hey, man. Patrick might wake up in the morning, you on sleeping on the couch, Pat throwing a ball to you, wake up, catch it, get you a little breakfast, step out there on the little turf, get you a couple more catches. I'm telling you, man, he's living his life right now. And Patrick wanted to be successful. When they could, kind of adopt the guy to get him to where you want him to be, especially from the starting quarterback, that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes because he's just building something that he's saying this could be something that could be happening for a number of years, for a couple of years, for whatever. So I've heard Patrick talk about this guy ever since they got together in Texas, right? and they were talking about how much he's grown, he's matured in the past, man. So I know his heart is ignited to do some wonderful things out there on the field. I can't wait to see him in preseason because I think he's one of those guys who's going to be a key guy that's going to get some burn for us this year. And so, you know what, man? Justyn Ross, it's real. It's real. So, and like I said, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. I know everybody, because, I mean, we was talking about the one catch he called the little bread basket. So that's what he's supposed to do. That is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to make these catches. He want to make the roster, he's going to make catches like that. He's going to make that. And he's been doing it. So that's good. So, yeah, man, it's real, man. I'm pushing for this dude, to really contribute this year to what the Chiefs do.
And it's funny you say that because I remember when we had that clip last year during the mini camp where he caught that one across the field, the breadbasket one-handed catch. You said so he's supposed to do. And then a lot of these clips we're seeing are him pretty much doing that, the one-handed grabs, but in different situations. It's like, okay, well, he's doing what JD said. He needs to be doing.
Man. Yeah, you want to be on the NFL roster. This is what's required of it. This is what you have to do, especially if you think that you don't have the wind in your sails, okay? And you're defying all the odds. You're gonna have to go out there and play spectacular. You're gonna have to go out there and show what you can do, and do it better than everybody else is out there doing it, right? And so you want them writing columns about you. You want them tweeting about you. You want them showing films of you catching a ball here and there, catching one-handed catches and stuff. That's what you want. You are generating a great fan base and people that will support you. Shoot, the main one, PM15, you got this other you sleeping on his couch. Hey, man, it's real. It's real.
And this is so a lot of these Chiefs publications, Arrowhead Pride being one of them, they've a lot of them have gone back and said that Justyn Ross will now make the roster. And it's one thing that I kind of went on a whole diatribe last week about is these accounts that like the predicted active 53-man roster. It's like it's obnoxious because it's like when like the Justyn Ross, for example, when they're writing articles like, fine, I guess Justyn Ross is going to make the team now. It's like, are you rooting against it? Like, what is this? Like, I think people want their predictions to be right so much that they root against like these guys. And it's like,
That's right.
What sense does that make? Like, what? Oh, fine, I'm going to change my list now. Like, okay. I mean, like, the guy's obviously showing it, but like, it seems like you're upset that you have to change your predictions aren't going to come true. It's like, what is this?
You know what it is it's being safe. It's playing it safe. So, it's like, okay, fine, and then of course nobody really gets on you because you wasn't really on the hype train. You didn't really, you wouldn't really say anything disparagingly against this guy. You're like, okay, I can kind of come around to that. But as soon as he'll make it, like I told you so, I told you this guy wasn't gonna be this. So it's like it's a safe space to be in.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you're gonna have that every year with most guys anyway. We can go through the roster in different positions. It's like that. Wide receiver, running back, corner, linebacker, every position, every single position is going to be one of those guys who's going to be a safe guy for you. Justyn Ross is the guy right now that is either you got him or you don't. Okay, you either ride with him or you kind of a little tepid with it, like maybe I'm with him. Okay, but
yeah,
he's got it, man. Look, he's got it with the guys out there that I've been seeing and just reading about. His name is being called more than anybody else. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So that tells me that he's right along with the guys and a head nod above a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. And one thing he said, it stood out to me, was everyone's so scared about his whole injury stuff, and that's one thing that keeps popping up. But people forget he had the spot when he was diagnosed with it. He missed a year, but he came back and played a full year of football, even with a broken foot. He still played, and like people forget, he did already play a year of football with this condition, right? He had the condition. It was undiagnosed for his whole life, so he was playing football with this condition. Now that we know it now, but he in one of his press conferences last week, he said that like it felt good. The first hit that he had just felt good. The first tackle, he said it just felt good to have that, and it's like, okay, well, obviously, he knows what everyone's thinking too. So that's one thing. Like he has the whole condition that he has, but he knows that everyone's thinking it too. And so it's like, it's good. I felt, it felt good to get one of those. Like, okay, yeah, he knows what's on everyone's mind.
Man, he's almost like, look, I want y'all betting against me. I'd rather y'all have like, I like the support, but he's got a resilient spirit about him. He wants to still go out there and prove people. Like, no, don't pat me on the back too much, right? Don't pat me on the back too much. Let me earn what I want to earn, okay? Because it's driving me right now. And so that first hit felt good. He wants some more. I don't think he's scared of it. I don't think he has any question in his mind, right? It's everybody else around him. Okay, there's always going to have the question.
Yeah.
So he's going to give it up regardless. I think he's already bought in, man. So yeah.
And in contrast to Kadarius Toney, who we talked about, this whole giant spat that he had with the fans, Justyn Ross does not go on social media, has not been looking at his Twitter account over the last, because one of the reporters asked him, have you seen the hype that you're getting online? He was like, nah, I don't pay attention to that stuff.
I love it. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. I love this guy. Dude, that's the type of dude you need, right? He don't go. He ain't checking it. Hopefully, he ain't checking it. Hopefully, but if he's not checking his stuff, he ain't worried about it, man. Cool.
Yeah,
that's how you have to have. You got to have that balance. You can't worry about trying to please people out here. You can't do it. You're just not going to be able to do it. You're just not. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, that's the old school mentality right there. Just play, and then don't hear all what everyone's saying about you.
Yeah.
So the one thing that the big change, so most people had 6 receivers, that's it. But now, since most people are saying Justyn Ross is going to make the team, there's going to be 7 receivers now. So my question to you is, JD, so let's say, I think last year going into the season, we kept 6 receivers. Let's say we keep 6 receivers, and we're coming down to Justin Watson and Justyn Ross, because this has been the 2 names that have popped up as far as if we are keeping 6 receivers on the roster this year.
Yeah.
What would you say? First off, who would you pick between the 2? But what would be the overwhelming argument as to why one over the other? And so who would you pick if it comes down to 6? And it's Justin v. Justyn Ross versus Watson. Which is the one you're picking, and what would be the overwhelming reason as to why?
I'm not picking nobody right now. I ain't say, shoot, we got to get to the preseason. These guys got played out. That's how it works in the NFL. I don't play no favorites. Okay. You know what I mean? Because it's all about, you performing out there on the field. That's what I need to see.
Yeah.
So I can make a determination after, play some preseason games and whatnot. We make the choice then. So, everybody can have a hype train. Everybody can do all this. And then all of a sudden when the lights come on, it's like it might be a whole different animal. You might be like, eyes out there and big and, dropping pat. No, we're not going. We're not going. You ain't gonna get me in that one.
We're not playing 7-on-7 anymore.
No. It's absolutely not. This is real deal.
But the 6 versus 7, as far as the amount of receivers we take, obviously we need to see the 3 games preseason. We need to kind of see how everything plays out, injuries and all that stuff. But if you were a betting man, JD, would you say they keep 7 receivers in the end?
As far as need, I was kind of going through offensively. I could see them doing 7, possibly. I can definitely see them doing 7, possibly. Obviously, Kadarius Toney, he's, like I said, I don't think he's going to play the first game, and then you just kind of go from there. You got to feel everybody else out. You got to see where everybody else is as far as like their their progression. We got to see where everybody is, and with a young cast like this, you really got to flesh this thing out, man. You really have to. You got to make it, some good decisions on who you're gonna keep.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, the preseason is gonna be very important and very fun to watch with these young cats.
Oh yeah.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.